Hi, and welcome to the Improved Garage YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button. So today I'm going to be talking about a new package that I just received, opening it up and talking about what's inside. So this is obviously from Obsessed Garage. It is there was an audio live sale that was done for a bunch of open box products that Matt had tested or taken pictures of, etc. And during that live sale, I was able to score something that I wanted to try out because he talked about it quite a bit, which is a Bluesound Node. So, Bluesound Node is a audio streaming device that runs BlueOS. And it is a way to play high-res digital audio directly from your phone to speakers or speaker systems. Now, I'm currently using a similar product, which is an Audio Engine B-Fi. The Audio Engine B-Fi has worked really well. I did a couple videos on that, so feel free to check out the channel for those videos. Been pretty happy with it, and that's about 180 bucks. This is a fair amount more. I think this was like, I paid $4 something for it after the discount. I want to say it's in the $550 range, brand new. But this is brand new. I have a warranty on it. It was opened up and used for display purposes or for pictures or for testing by Obsessed Garage. So obviously arrived in a box with packaging. Here's the actual box itself. So we've got the Bluesound cover. There's a quick setup guide here on top. They repackaged it really well, which is nice. So here's the actual unit. I was expecting this to be larger. That's good. It's a pleasant surprise that it's the size that it is. So here's the unit itself. It's got the Bluesound logo on the front, and there's also like a headphone jack up here, display on the top, and then a bunch of inputs and outputs on the back. We'll talk about those in a minute. Also in the box we have another manual, and we have a box of cables. So there's a power cable here. It looks pretty long, probably 8 feet long, give or take, something along those lines. There's a European power connector here as well. There's an Ethernet cord. There is an RCA cable, and there is an optical adapter, and that is it, as well as some silica drying agent. So this unit is it's an audio streamer, and what that means is that this connects to the internet, and then you control it using your phone. So your phone is a remote control, not a streaming device. So that's kind of an important thing. When you're talking about something like like if you're trying to AirPlay something from your phone, and you've got an AirPlay receiver that is connected to your speakers, or you've got an amplifier that has AirPlay built in it. When you go to AirPlay something to that system, or even go to Chromecast something to that system, which would be the Google alternative, your phone is the source for that material. Meaning that your phone is playing the material and it's streaming it over the wireless to that device, and that device is acting as a speaker. And that creates a couple different things. Number one, your phone needs to be on and present for that audio to continue playing. Number two, if your phone has low signal strength to your Wi-Fi for some reason, like if you're outside in the driveway washing a car and you don't have good Wi-Fi out there, you'll end up with low quality or disconnected audio, or buffering or stuttering, or things like that. Additionally, you're not getting the highest quality audio that you possibly can. Different audio mediums have different possibility of how high quality the audio can be. So Spotify is different from Pandora, is different from Qbuzz, is different from Tidal. They all have their own different availability of high quality audio codecs. But something like this device, this connects to the network, and this is the source material for the audio. So this is actually connecting to your Spotify account, or connecting to your Tidal account as a device, like your phone. These are usually wired in nature, meaning they're connected to a wired network, which is much more resilient than a Wi-Fi network, but they can be connected to Wi-Fi as well. Because they're, you know, in a fixed location, they can tend to have a better Wi-Fi connection. They also have a larger antenna than something small like an iPhone can have, because it's, you know, just a much larger chassis that's built for that connectivity. They tend to have a really high quality digital to analog converter, meaning that you get the highest quality or the best sound out of those high quality materials. And your phone basically becomes a remote control. So my phone controls this, but this is the source for the media. And that can create really cool situations. Like at our house, we've got a bunch of Google Chromecast audios, which should not be confused with Chromecasting from your phone. These are audio streaming devices, and these streaming devices are, again, the source for your material. And we can make it so that I can play something and my wife can pause it and my kids can skip to the next song, and everybody can kind of control it together, like in a party mode. So that's pretty cool. So the Bluesound node, let's talk about the connections that it has. On the back, there is an audio output, which is analog. There is a subwoofer output. There is a coaxial digital output, and there is an optical digital output. So this can connect to your home theater system in a variety of ways, or your amplifier, or your powered speakers, your computer speakers, whatever you have this connected to. It can do it in a variety of ways. It can do it through analog. It can do it through digital. It can do it through optical, and it also has a separate subwoofer control and a separate subwoofer out, meaning that this device can do some crossing over of frequencies to make it so that you're, you know, in a situation like this where I've got these bookshelf speakers. These bookshelf speakers are not subwoofers. This is a subwoofer. So I can connect this in such a way that it will send the high frequency sounds to my speakers and send the low frequency sounds to my subwoofer, which is great. It makes it so that my speakers run more efficiently, my amplifier is amplifying sounds that it's meant to amplify, and that I end up with a higher quality audio experience. Separately on the back, I talked about coaxial digital audio output and optical digital audio output. I'm not really 100% certain why they would include those, or I mean, I'm sure they just included them to have as much connectivity as possible, but the whole point of this unit is to use the digital to analog converter that is in here. And if you're using a digital output and going into your receiver, you're bypassing that. So then it just becomes a streaming device, and I don't see much point in that piece. There is an analog in and an optical in, so this can actually do source switching. So if you have multiple sources that you want to play, you can bring those sources into here, and it can switch between playing streamer or playing your source, your exterior source. There is a LAN connection. There is an HDMI eARC connection, which is the audio return channel from a TV. And there's power, and there's a USB connection. And I believe that the USB connection can do like a USB thumb drive. So we're going to play with all of these, but in my particular setup, let's just kind of walk through how I intend to use this and intend to hook it up. So what I have in my setup is I have these Emotiva bookshelf speakers. They're Emotiva B1 Pluses. I also have an SVS subwoofer. My amplifier is a basic 2-channel amp that cannot do high pass and low pass filtering. It's this Emotiva A100 amplifier that's sitting up here in the top of my cabinet. Okay. For sources, I have an Audio Engine B-Fi, and I also have a mini PC, this Lenovo mini PC. And I use this device called a SYS, S-Y-S, switch your stuff, that allows me to switch between those two inputs with this switch here. So this is going to go away, and this is going to go away. They will both be replaced by the Bluesound node. The Bluesound node will be the streaming device where the B-Fi was originally the streaming device, and it will also, through the analog input, connect to my PC. So I will be able to choose what I'm listening to from those devices. From the Bluesound app. I can switch to my computer, I can switch to a streaming device, and I can do it all from the app. I can control my volume from the app, and this will be the one device that is responsible for source and switching. Additionally, my subwoofer will connect directly to the Bluesound node instead of using a Y adapter, which it is right now, off of the back of that amplifier. And the speakers will now have high-pass filtering, which they currently don't. So that will enable them to play lower sounds more clearly because they're not trying to reproduce sounds that they weren't intended to produce in the first place. So that's my very brief overview, why I purchased it and how it's going to fit into my setup. I will do a separate video on the setup of the product itself and the connection and what that all looks like after I've had an opportunity to play with it a little bit and figure out what works the best. So, you know, please subscribe and check out that video. It should come out in a couple of weeks. And, you know, thank you for watching. Have a great day.